What more can you do with the Earnix platform? Our first focus was to build the right foundation for leveraging LLMs and Gen AI in a regulated environment. Let's pick the right use cases that will be easier for us as an industry to implement. Use cases around migration of data, of tables, of formulas, of rules, connect better with different types of data lakes. One of the main vehicles we have to foster analytics innovation is the Earnix Labs program. Opening up the platform to adopt the Onyx industry standard. It's a standard that is adopted and promoted by all of the big players, including the top public cloud providers. This next part gets me really excited. I love hearing from customers. I want to open the platform to new users, new personas. But I will share, we are planning to expand the types of decisions that the Earnix platform can support with additional use cases in additional areas of your business. Start thinking, what more will you be doing in 2025 with your Earnix platform? And the real challenge is, maybe you do all of the above. Hello. So, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. So last year we asked this simple, but I think very powerful question. What more can you do with the Earnix platform? And before I share some of the highlights of how we collectively responded to that question, I'll first introduce myself. I am Barry Mart. I'm Chief Product Officer for Earnix. My team and I are responsible for the Earnix product strategy, for the Earnix product roadmap. We're all available for you here this week, so definitely looking forward to connect. Today, or in the next 30 minutes or so, we'll talk or explore how carriers are transforming their pricing, rating, and underwriting operations. We'll talk about how they're leveraging dynamic AI, how they're going enterprise-wide with the Earnix Intelligent Decision Platform. We'll look at a couple of examples from the last 12 months. We'll talk about some of the innovation coming out of Earnix, including how we're helping carriers adopt AI or implement AI. I will also touch upon and introduce for the first time what the acquisition that we announced earlier this year of Zelros, what it means for you, our customers. And there's much more, so let's get going. Starting with a couple of highlights from the last 12 months. First, very important, we're very proud of this number. We saw a 50% growth in the number of users accessing Earnix to make smarter and faster decisions. This includes more pricing analysts, more actuaries, more underwriters, more product managers and state managers. They're all leveraging Earnix on a daily basis, and this number is continuing to grow. We also saw very clearly that our customers are updating their models and updating their pricing and underwriting strategies much more frequently than in the past. This is also very clearly visible in the fact that we have a doubling of the number of times customers upload data into the Earnix platform. And it truly shows that this agility, this ability to react to the market is driving a lot of your decisions. We announced last year, we announced the Earnix Copilot, and this year it moved from concept to full production. We now have customers that are leveraging the Earnix Copilot to automate workflows, to onboard new team members, and in general, to supercharge their pricing operations. At the same time, we saw a very significant surge in the adoption of Onyx. What does that tell us? It tells us that many of our customers are promoting more and more machine learning or advanced machine learning models, either augmenting their traditional GLM approaches or in some cases even replacing them. And when they're doing so, they're leveraging the open analytics framework that we introduced, so it's allowing you freedom of choice of how and where to build your models. Earlier this year, we announced the acquisition of Zelros to help streamline between the operations, the strategy side, where risk and underwriting and pricing sit, with the frontline distribution channels. We'll see this in action very shortly. Very excited about the opportunities that this agility offers to our customers. And we also saw our customers expand their usage enterprise-wide around a variety of lines of businesses, personal lines, pets, commercial, specialty, and more recently, even annuities. So you can see that enterprise-wide adoption growing, and we expect more of that to come. And lastly, the innovation from Earnix didn't slow down. We delivered our 4 seasonal releases. We released 8 new analytical labs. In fact, with some of our modules, we're now also providing new functionality every 3 weeks. So we have carriers here that are getting new functionality from Earnix every 3 weeks, allowing them to innovate quicker and at scale. So these are just a few highlights, and let's continue. So let's now talk a bit about this platform that is behind all of this progress and all of this innovation, the Earnix Intelligent Decision Platform. So Robin mentioned before, it is purpose-built for a regulated environment. The focus is on compliance and governance and how to operationalize the analytics and doing so at scale. Now we need to remember that these workflow platforms, such as the policy admins and workbenches of the world, they do really well. They manage transactions, they manage policies, they manage different types of activities, but they've never had at their core an analytical backbone. And I think this is where clearly the Earnix platform comes in. It enables our customers to define, test, and deploy strategies by deploying AI and analytics and doing so through the entire insurance life cycle. So if I progress and think about, the portfolio of offerings that sit or leverage this platform, I'll talk about 3 today. First, the market-leading rating engine and the suite of pricing analytics that comes with it. It is indeed, in fact, where most of our customers started their journey with Earnix. We continue to invest a lot and innovate a lot in this space. I'll touch upon some of that later today. And our objective here is very clear. We need to make sure that you always have access to the latest and greatest in pricing analytics. The second column, the underwriting area, basically allows you to bring in rules under one roof from multiple sources. It empowers your underwriting strategy managers to apply analytics in a space that for the most part, still very much rules-driven. But very importantly, it allows you to look at your pricing and underwriting in one unified view. And I think that is probably one of the main reasons our customers leverage this solution, is to have a unified view of pricing and underwriting, so you can see what different levers that you are pulling in one side, how they impact the other, etc. The third column, customer engagement. This is new. This is based on the acquisition of Zelros. And this is the first time we are going to talk about it this week. And basically, as I mentioned, it enables carriers to operationalize pricing and underwriting strategies directly to the frontline channels. So think about call centers, other human agent workflows, digital channels. So that the ability to connect between the two is a core part of this offering. And you'll also notice that I've intentionally included a 4th column that we are calling coming soon, basically indicated that we're continuously looking for additional products and additional areas of the business where we can apply this concept of intelligent decisioning. So definitely an invite for you to share with us where you see opportunities, where you think we should go next. We have a lot of focus on this area as well. Before I kind of go one level deeper into each of these products that we offer, I'd like to quickly touch upon what we're doing to make sure that the platform continuously fits into your tech ecosystem. Well, it integrates seamlessly into different workflow platforms, such as policy admins and workbenches, through pre-built connectors that we offer, as well as a tool set and API that allow our customers and partners to build their own types of connectors. With Zelros acquisition, we now offer standard integration with leading CRM players, so you can actually connect also at the front line. For our North American customers, we've added integration with various ISO risk rating, allowing our customers in North America to launch differentiated strategies into the market and streamline workflows. We are very much committed to adopting industry standard tech stacks, data stacks, as well as other formats. So you will see here that we are now offering, and we'll talk about it very shortly, direct connectivity to the most common data lakes out there, whether they are Snowflake or Databricks or S3 and others. We're also embracing, as you heard before, industry standards such as Onyx for model portability, as well as Parquet for a very efficient data management. And now, we'll talk a bit about this a bit later also, but we are now offering standard integration with any Gen AI model that you choose. If you want to choose OpenAI or Claude or Mistral or anything else, we will show you how this comes to life a bit later. So this focus on fitting into your tech ecosystem with industry standards is a big focus of ours. So we've covered the platform. I'll go through the different kind of verticals that we saw, the different offerings, and I'll start with the area of pricing and rating. And I think no surprise, it all starts with the data. We are introducing for the first time Elevate Data, which is a new model that now allows you to connect to those data lakes that I mentioned before. Again, Snowflake, Databricks, Google will come down the road, and others. It allows you to directly connect with them, pull in the data that you're looking for on an ongoing basis, in a seamless basis, so it takes away a lot of the manual work that was required up until now. And once you have that data, you can now use AI-powered data transformation to actually make sure that that data is ready for modeling or for any other purpose. So it can assist you in transforming that data, ensuring it's clean, it's consistent, and we'll see a short demo about this very closely. Next, I'll move quickly to the part of the modeling. Based on feedback we received from you, especially as more of our customers started bringing models from the outside, we've added validation capabilities and validation tools. So once you bring in a model into the platform, you can make sure that it's validated for stability, for biases, for robustness, and you can actually trust what's actually making its way into the platform. And speaking of trust, you'll hear the theme of explainability come up quite often today and tomorrow. Based on your feedback, we, I think 24 months ago or so, we released the Earnix and the labs program, the Earnix Explainability Lab. We've taken your feedback, we've incorporated, and in the last release, we are now also making this as a standard part of our offering. So now you can leverage all of the capabilities that this explainability model offers. Additional types of reporting, the ability to compare different types of models. You can evaluate them through different lift charts, model drivers, risk logic. So all of that is coming with this. And once you have deployed a model into production, the ability to monitor where different models are being deployed, how they're being used, looking at Earnix as kind of a model registry, if you will. So lots of innovation, lots more where that came from. You'll see this at the demo booth outside. You'll see it tomorrow in the innovation track. For those of you that are into this data and modeling space, I invite you to come and talk to the experts. They can show you a lot of new cool stuff. Moving to the area of underwriting, we are also there introducing new capabilities focused on transparency, on speed, and that 360 view, the inside part. You see here a screen showing how we are making underwriting decisions transparent. It is built-in tools or a set of reports that allow you to drill down into the simulations and to see which underwriting rules or which risk factors are driving certain KPIs. So as an example here, you can pinpoint which underlying factor directly or indirectly contributes to your loss ratio. So very powerful tools that are available for you when kind of using this underwriting capability. And last, but next, again, based on feedback, we've received multiple requests from customers asking us to help take the legacy rules, wherever they're stored. Sometimes it's Excel, sometimes it's another system. Help bring it into the platform in an automated way, in a seamless way, in a reliable way. So we've developed a dedicated tool that allows you to take these legacy formats, transpose them or transform them into a format that you can put into the Earnix platform. Makes it much more reliable, but also much quicker. So time to value and time to adoption is key here. And last, in the world of underwriting, we continue to invest in this unified portfolio view of both pricing and underwriting with a set of reports and dashboards that will come soon to allow you to further drill down into this combined or holistic view. I want to talk a bit or shift to the world of customer engagement. Now, I mentioned before, we see this divide that sometimes happens between the different silos of a carrier as a barrier, as an inhibitor to being even more agile than you are today. And think of it, you have many departments, on one side, the strategy operations, many people in this room are coming from that side of the business. But you also have these other departments that are on the sales and marketing side of things. And sometimes they either have a different view of the world or they are measured on different things. And even though you could be very agile, the ability to interact with them actually prevents the entire organization from being more agile than they can. And I think the outcome of that is very clear. You have missed opportunities. You tend to impact customer experience or negative customer experience. And if we could bring those two together, then it would be really beneficial for everyone. And this is exactly what we set out to solve with this acquisition of Zelros. So what is Zelros? Basically, we are focusing on removing that gap. What Zelros does really well is take structured data, unstructured data, so your data, basically. It is also fully integrated with the Earnix pricing and underwriting offerings. So those strategies are fully integrated into it. And what it does, it delivers that to the front lines directly. Okay, so that's going to be key here. And I'm going to showcase this with 3 examples. First is, I mentioned we spoke before about pricing explainability. How do you explain to a call center agent the difference in the new price when you're up for renewal, right? What's different between the renewal price versus the origination price? So with this type of capability, not only can we provide the explanation of what's changed and what's driving the difference in price, we're also guiding the call center agent how to handle that, how to explain it, how to handle objections. So we're taking that strategy and allowing the call center agents in this example to operationalize it. The second example is in the area of underwriting, and it's all about guiding the advisor on an efficient and compliant workflow, very much in context. So it allows you to understand, to make sure that the process that they go through is the right one. And the last one is delivering personalized data-driven quotes. This is a very sophisticated recommendation engine. And what's common across all of the 3 examples that I used is that it is all based on a very powerful AI-based recommendation engine, which is taking your data, your specific documentation and other things, and making these very smart decisions. So this is what this offering is all about. And I'd like to shift gears a bit and talk a bit about AI again. But I would like to start with, what are the challenges we hear? And I speak to many carriers. Everywhere I go, everyone has an AI initiative. Everyone understands the potential value. You can't get away with a conversation these days without somehow talking about this. Everyone is excited, but very often I start very quickly to hear the challenges, right? Everyone wants to do it, but the question is how? And when I ask, okay, what are the challenges, I hear kind of these things. You will not be surprised by any of them because we've actually seen these challenges as we've adopted other technologies in the past, so we could learn from that. To name a few, AI decisions must be transparent in our industry. In a regulated environment, we have to have that level of transparency in any decision. You need to ensure reliability of outcomes. We all use the ChatGPTs of the world in our day-to-day, but in our environment, we cannot accept 70% or 80% accuracy, right? That's unacceptable in our world. So what do we do to get it to the right numbers and the right levels of accuracy? Again, you see here the trust and the skepticism. Yes, we hear it all the time from different people. If people don't believe, if they don't trust that the AI is doing what it's supposed to do, they will not adopt it. I am referencing here in the biases, I'm referencing a comparison to machine learning adoption a few years ago, and in some cases even today, because I do think that part is going to be very critical. How do we ensure that there's no biases in the process? As we start adding more of our proprietary data, competitive data, sometimes personal data, into this type of environment, we have to make sure that this is fully governed, follows all of the policies, and we have all of the guardrails in place. And last but not least, I very much believe that at least at this point of time, this concept of AI must be as a way to augment humans, and this collaboration between humans and AI is going to be key to be successful in operationalizing it. So these are the problems. Let's talk about some solutions here. And I I want to introduce for the first time the Earnix AI Studio. What is the studio? It is a insurance-specific, purpose-built way to build AI agents and later on deploy them into your workflow. Okay, and this is the whole idea behind the studio is to allow you to address the challenges we just saw. So you can configure any number of agents. You can see here a screenshot of a catalog of agents. You can see it also later in the demo environment. Each of these agents addresses a different part of your business, and it is, again, purpose fit for the specific task that we wanted to do. And let's start with how you would do it. So the first thing you want to is create an agent. And basically, this is where you define what is this agent supposed to do, right? This is the role of this agent. You also define what it can do, what actions it can take. Basically, the basic definition of a new agent. It gives you full control of the roles and the boundaries of this new agent. Next, you have to configure the guardrails, right? This is where you put all of the security elements to make sure that it is doing exactly what you want it to do. What are the data sources it can access? What it is not allowed to do? What are the thresholds of making certain types of decisions? You can also include here restricted terminology to ensure that you are remaining on brand. This is exactly where you can define all of the guardrails that you need to ensure that you know what's going to happen after you deploy it to production. And as with everything else that we do, before we deploy something to production, we must test it. We need to have a pre-built list of test scenarios. You can have as many as you like. We have customers doing that today. And you basically define, this agent in this scenario will behave this way. You run the test. If the answer is no, it will not allow you to deploy this agent to production. So you can create as many tests as you like, and that way you ensure that once you deploy this agent, it will behave the way you want it to. So we've spoken about how you would build those agents, but in fact, the real problem is how do you operationalize them, right? Because we can, we build these agents, they're safe, but the question is, how do you operationalize them in production? And the trick here is to embed them into your current workflows. If you have another tool on the side, the barrier to adoption becomes much higher. There's a massive transformation or change management needs to go through. People will take time. Instead, what we're doing is we're embedding those agents in the workflows that you already know and the ones that you're using today. So what I have on the screen here is, I think, a canonical workflow. All of us use it. You bring in data. You update models if you need to. You make changes using analytics to your pricing or underwriting strategy. And once you're happy, you deploy those to the market. That's what we do all day long. We now have agents, AI agents, embedded in each one of these steps that I'm showing here. And let me show you I'll show you a couple of examples. Okay, so I'll start with data. I think we fully understand why if you have issues with accuracy of data, everything else afterwards becomes a problem. But I also believe very much this is a great place to start when you want to deploy agents, because AI is really good at the types of capabilities we'll see shortly. So think about data transformations, and again, I mentioned before, the cleaning of the data, making sure it's ready for the modeling phase. So imagine you go into the AI studio I showed you before. We have these agents that will help you generate the transformation recipes. It will allow you, or another set of agents can detect different types of anomalies in the data. And you can also have agents help you fill in missing values. So they don't just automate, but they guide you through this flow, and they help perform some of the tasks on your behalf. So we'll see a quick video here. It's a simple example for the sake of time, but I think it will give you a sense of what is the potential here. And you can see much more advanced scenarios later on. So imagine we've gone into our Snowflake. We've imported with Elevate data. We've imported Motor third-party liability origination data. And we do so on an ongoing basis. Now, the platform will automatically flag that the car value column, which you can see here, has many missing entries. Now, let's say we want to replace those missing values with just a median, simple example, but we're not sure how to write that code. Instead of doing it or finding out how you can do it, you can actually ask the AI assistant, help me generate this code, and it does exactly that. And when you're ready, again, human collaboration, it helps you execute it. Now, again, it's a simple example, but it shows you the potential. Think about the following use cases. You can automatically detect outliers in claim amounts and suggest different types of corrective actions. You can standardize across multiple data sources, like vehicle types, which are coming from here, and something else coming from there, and standardize them together. You can identify and resolve schema changes that way. So everything related to data management can be powered this way. So you'll see many more of these, again, in the demo sessions. So this is one example. I'll move from the data management to the modeling side. We spoke before multiple times around the topic of explainability. I'm sure we all understand where AI could be excellent at helping you explain. You give it the model. It can help you understand or create the documentation required of how this model behaves. What is the variables that are being used in order to influence the prediction, how sensitive it is, everything that is related to explainability, and you can guide it. I want the output to be in this format. This is the level of detail I expect from you. This is the type of charts I need. So you configure the agents to your specific needs, and you're deploying it in the modeling phase of Earnix. Last quick example. Again, we saw this earlier on the Zero side, but the concept of explainability of renewal prices or any types of explainability required, I think you can deploy this after you release new rates to the market and see this comparison coming together very nicely. So we've seen a few snippets. You'll see more of these examples today and tomorrow. But zooming out, what we really saw now is the ability to create these agents in a way that is purpose-fit for our type of environment, addressing the challenges of guardrails that you need, the testing that you need, the proof that you can actually release these agents to production in a safe way. And it's very important to note that these agents will be embedded or are embedded and will be even further embedded into the workflows that you're using today. So I think this is going to be a key to success here. And I think this is a visual that brings it all to life, the ability to have these agents everywhere, augmenting every step of the process. And if you think about it, what we're proposing here is that we are continuing to use the traditional approaches of predictive AI to make the scalable decisions, the fast decisions need to happen in milliseconds. But in order to bring those together, to make sure they're accurate and to be able to do so in a much more agile way, we're leveraging the power of generative and also some of the examples around agentic AI. Given that the clock is counting down here, I will let you read. This is kind of basically summarizing some of the areas that we will be focusing on in 2026. Definitely, we're going to be focusing continuously on ensuring that the platform evolves with your needs around scale, around standardization. We'll continue to innovate relentlessly in the analytics. We'll add more persona-based workflows. Data management is a hot topic for us. AI agents everywhere. We saw a couple of examples, and we'll continue to connect or bridge between the silos. And I'll end with a challenge, just like last year. So last year, I asked this forum, what more will you do with the Earnix platform in 2025? So my challenge for this year is, how will you harness AI to transform your workflows in 2026? Now, we all know how my presentation next year will start, so we'll summarize. So I look forward for your collaboration. The tools are here. The platform we saw is ready. So I think the only real question is, are you up for this challenge? Thank you very much.